Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, nerds and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the legend, Don Frye. Don, how are you, buddy?
I'm okay. Did everybody else fall away, or they just quit the show?
I know that Greg Wilson is flying right now. Sean McCorkle, we rescheduled this week 6 times because of him, and now he's not here. So that's just, I mean, I don't know. At first it was you. You like Monday or Tuesday. I said Tuesday's better. And then actually, I think he's coming. Hold on. I'm pretty sure he's coming. And then Sean said he couldn't do it, and then Greg didn't get back to me. But we're here. I believe this is Sean McCorkle. Sean, how are you?
Hanging in there.
All right.
I got my thing set up.
Oh man, what happened to you yesterday? You drove 2 hours to the doctor to tell you he couldn't help you?
Yeah, I mean, I keep going to these different doctors, man. I've been to the guy before. He's a nice guy, but I need that open. The guy I went through, like, he'll really sit and talk to you, but I went through the same thing we talked about last time. Like, word for word, the same thing I talked about 6 months ago. My back history, everything, asking the same questions he asked before and stuff, telling me, no, I did have microablation. I did have cortisone. Like, and it was like I'd never been there. You know what I mean? And then he was trying to talk me into a pain pump thing, which I don't want to do, but he said that's really my last option, you know? But I don't know. But I said, I literally was there for 2.5 hours and then left, and he's like, yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not really a reason for me to see you anymore. And I'm like, all righty. So.
Oh, Don, I talked to a guy who helped set up your trip over there. He said he wants you to plug the doctor more. So.
Okay. Which doctor? There's a bunch of doctors there.
The one that got you the treatment. I don't know. He said I want you to give him more shout outs on your show and on this show and on social media. So what's the guy's name?
Jeez. John, Crimey.
John Crimey. So John Crimey was the best doctor you could.
John, it's a comedian's name. John.
John Candy?
Schaub? No.
Now let me figure it out.
All right. Well, when you get a chance, just make sure you give that guy a plug.
Yeah.
Sean, by the way, Sean, I had Jared Brooks on the show, and I asked him about that event he did with the pillow fighting that you put on.
Yeah.
He said he's never seen anything like it before. He said you had a big smile on your face the entire time, but right behind you was that guy that you always talk about, that guy that you train with, the big guy that you said no one, Tom Erickson.
Yeah.
So disappointed that he was behind you, and he looked so depressed and sad that this is what it come to.
Yeah, I was trying to put on a more WWE style show with some fighting, and nobody appreciated it. Not even the commission. Like, no one liked it. Like it was trying to be more entertainment than I was a sport, and that didn't go over real well. So.
But yeah, Tom Erickson was very upset by the whole thing. I was laughing so hard. He said you had a smile from here to here, laughing at the pillow fights, but Tom was not.
Yeah, because at that point, man, I realized I'd lost a fortune on the event, and so I didn't even care. Like, and I had these girls were pillow fighting, and then I went up. I sent this guy Alex Rousman, who's in jail for hitting some girl in the face with a hammer right now. But he was.
He was what? Oh, great. Don, can you hear?
Yeah, I guess that's the way to shut Broad up, right? Hit her in the face with a hammer.
This is great. Just when I thought that no one could get worse service than you. All right, Don. So what was he doing? Sean.
Were you there? Yeah. So
yeah, it cut out. The guy hit his girl with a hammer.
Yeah, this guy. Well, he's a fighter. He hit this girl with his hammer, so But I send him money every now and then on his books because if you hit somebody in the face with a hammer, you probably are down on your luck, you know. So so I told him to go up there and pillow fight the girls. He's he's built like but he's white. But he's real, just muscular, real built dude. And I said, go up there, take your shirt off, and then challenge the girls to a pillow fight. But I told all the girls I'd give them $50 each if they would really just punch him for real and kick him in the balls and stuff, you know. So he goes out there and trying to hit pillow fights. They're coming up behind him, kicking him in the balls from behind, punching him. It's the funniest thing ever. And then I got like warned by the commission lady that's in charge of commission that they were going to shut the show down if I, kept doing. But I said it's entertainment stage, like pro wrestling, and she wasn't buying it.
How many people were in the crowd for this?
The guys loved it. The women hated it. The women in the crowd hated it. So,
but how many?
Why? It's equality. It's about equality, right? I mean,
right?
You give them the equal rights, the equal time to perform on the stage with a man, and so what do they have to bitch about?
Right, you're absolutely right.
I was trying to push women's rights forward with that whole pillow fighting thing.
That's the
whole thing with these trannies doing the swimming and shit. Hey, for years I've been listening to women bitch about equality and men are women are just as strong as men, blah blah blah. Well, it ain't working out that way for you, is it, ladies?
I don't know how we got into transgenders, not trannies. I think they like to be called transgenders now, swimming.
I think we should start with cancer every week instead of trannies.
You want me to apologize to somebody wanting to fucking wear women's clothing? Fuck that.
I'm not saying to apologize for anything. I'm just telling you what I think the term now is, number one. And number two, Sean, when people said that they want equality, I'm not sure they meant getting pillow fights hit by a guy who hits girls with a hammer in the middle of a ring.
Right.
The question was, how many people paid for this event?
I probably had 1,000 paid people and probably 200 to 300 I just comped, like general admission. But the commission charged me as if I had sold it out in the highest rate for the tickets. So every ticket I gave away, they end up charging like $3 a piece for everyone I gave away.
They don't trust you. They don't trust you. I mean, they are the most corrupt bastards on the planet, and they project their actions onto you.
Yeah.
Now,
but that's why I quit promoting shows. You can't, with the commissions, you cannot make any money. It isn't, no matter what you do. Even if the guys are fighting for free, you can't make any money because you got to have 3 refs there. Even if you only have 8 fights, you have to have 3 separate refs who you're paying $300-400 a piece for, but they're only getting $150. So the commission's taking that. You got to pay 4 judges. Even though they only need 3, you got to pay their travel. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. They walk away with about $10,000 every event.
That's insane.
Yeah, you don't make a penny. You don't make a penny. The doctor's name is Dr. John Oliver, the guy up there in Scottsdale, and he's one of the doctors down there that helped. He just got hired on when I went down there, and actually he's working at the clinic up in Scottsdale. Dr. John Oliver. He's a pretty good guy.
That's awesome. I had lunch with Chuck Liddell last week, by the way. He says hello. Chuck's doing very well. He's kicking ass. His kids are wrestling, and he seems pretty happy. Chuck's a funny guy.
I don't know if he's kicking ass or his wife is. Which one?
I'm sure he would appreciate that joke. Did you ever train with Chuck, Don?
No, I never did. I was a little bit older than Chuck.
Yeah. But you were a big fan of his fights.
Oh yeah, I like to watch him fight. Man, he's an exciting fighter.
How do you think a prime Chuck would do right now in the UFC?
I think he'd do okay. I mean, shit. What weight class are we talking about? We're talking light heavyweight. I mean, I think he'd be wearing the strap again. Shit.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that could punch as hard going backwards as forward, and that people still can't figure that out. Did you guys watch the fights over the weekend?
Luckily, I had a stream by my house that had a couple of them.
Sean, you go first.
Oh, I said, luckily I had a stream that runs by my house that I was able to catch a few of them on because I wasn't paying for that card. I wasn't paying $20 for that card, man. Like, that was 2 fights you kind of want to see on the whole card. Like, it's like bad, man.
Don, do you watch them?
Yeah, unfortunately, it'll be the last time I watch the goddamn things, too. I tell you what, UFC's been as bad as Bellator last fucking half a year or a year.
Well, I mean, that's not always the case. This particular card, some people think that Robert Whittaker won the fight. I don't see how he won the fight. I think he lost a boring fight, but he lost.
He quit. He quit on the stool, after the first round. You could see it in his eyes, It shocked me. I was so disappointed.
But he's going around saying, I won the fight. I did enough to win. I'm like, maybe I gave him a round, maybe 2 rounds if I'm being generous. But I don't know how you could argue that he, dominantly or it was.
You can't. It's like arguing that Biden won the election fairly. There's no logical way.
Now the other fight, the what's his name, the shoey guy, Sean, who am I thinking of?
Tuivasa?
Yeah, Tai Tuivasa against the Black Beast. It does seem like the Black Beast quit during that fight. It seemed like he got hit. And then the way he fell, because I watched it like 10 times, he kind of braced his fall and went down. But he did get hit pretty hard and got elbowed. Do you think he kind of threw that and faked an injury? What are your thoughts, Sean?
I thought when I saw it the same thing, it looked like who knows it? Maybe he could regain consciousness on the way down or something, It's hard to tell when you're not him. But, it looked a little fishy. Not like he would throw it, but sometimes it's like Don said, and I thought I was the only one that maybe noticed that too. But after the first round, I was thinking Robert Whittaker's done. I can tell the look on his face. He doesn't want to be in there anymore, and that's the way it seemed like he fought the rest of the time. Like he just wanted to make it to the decision, And then if he thinks he won, he needs to watch it again. Because you could make a case that rounds 1 or whatever, 2, 3, and 5 were really, really close and he barely got him. But rounds 1 and 4 weren't. You know what I mean? So, if you want to the rounds Israel won were a lot more dominant than the ones that Robert would have won, But he, I never thought I would see him fight like that, man. Like afraid to engage, afraid to throw. He would just do that step in, jab, and hook like over and over again. So like 2 left hands and then clinch up. Like I don't get it, man. I don't know.
But now, Don, do you think Tai Tuivasa? Do you think that the Black Beast threw that fight, or not threw it but quit and just came out as a bully, tried to knock him out, and at a certain point was like, I can't win this, so the next time I get hit, I'm going to kind of go down? I mean, did it seem kind of fishy?
Yeah, it didn't seem like he tried getting up, I think he got the shit scared out of him, and and gravity took over. Gravity kept him pinned,
It seems like he doesn't like. He even said, he goes, I hate fighting. I don't like fighting, or something.
Well, then he's wrong fucking game. I'd go work at Walmart. Okay, what you doing?
But the problem is he's so good, whereas he can knock out Curtis Blades, he knocks people out. He's got such natural ability, natural power. He's like, well, I'm not going to make whatever, $500,000, whatever he makes working at Walmart. So he's good at it, but he doesn't like doing it, and that's a problem.
That's what happened. That's kind of what happened.
Same bullshit. Sounds like the same bullshit Bart Kerr used to say. I mean, they're both really tough until they started to lose. And then hell, we could all say that. Not to pick on those 2 guys specifically, but anybody can actually say that when you start to lose. Yeah, you do hate fighting. Yes.
What were you saying, Sean?
No, the same thing. Like it was fun when I was winning and dominating everybody, and then you lose and everyone turns on you, and all of a sudden you're the worst fighter who's ever fought in UFC because you lost 1 fight. I'm like, dude, I'm the worst that ever fought in UFC. Like that's what it turns into. And then even people around you treat you different, whether you win or lose. It's a weird thing. It got to me. I don't know if this will ever play with Don, but it got with me where when I won, I wasn't happy. I was just relieved. Like after, like when I would win after losing a couple, I was just like, thank God I didn't lose. Like I was, I think, instead of, hey, I'm going to be the champ, or whatever. Like it was, but yeah, I lost, I don't know. I guess I started late too, so I didn't. I was smart enough to know that I was never going to make a ton of money doing it. Like it just like Monty Cox, my agent, pretty much told me how much I would ever make in the UFC, depending on what my record was. He was like, if you go 3-0, they're going to re-sign you. So you'll be at 12 and 12. You're going to go 14, 14, 16, 16, 18, 18. And so we figured it out. I told him, so if I win 12 fights in the UFC, I still won't be making $100,000 a fight. He was like, not unless you're the champ, you know? So I was like, cool. So like he said, and he had 60 guys in the UFC at the time because that's just the way it works. So I was like, alrighty.
Don, was it ever, did you ever get to the point where you just hated being in there?
Oh, yeah. At the time, I was getting the shit kicked out of me. Yeah. But, yeah, you're sitting there, you're eating a bunch of leather. Yeah, you hate being there at the time, you know. You're reaching for a tag.
But you would never think about going down and like kind of I'm not saying Derek Lewis quit. Okay, I'm saying it appeared like he got hit and kind of I don't know. It looked fishy. I'm not saying he quit. I have no idea exactly what went through his head. But did you ever think of taking the easy way out during a fight?
No, I not on purpose, but I was already stoned. You know, last bunch of fights I was so stoned, I couldn't gather the energy to get up, you know, and get after it. You know, fight my way back. I just resigned myself to the fact that I was losing.
Did your corner know that you were taking pills?
Yeah. One time, the geniuses in my corner and my ex-wife, she called them up, said, because she found my bottle of perks and or Vikes, my bottle of Vikes and my tequila bottle in the closet, and so she called them. One of the guys came and took it, and then this is the night before the fight, and I couldn't get to sleep, and then I ended up finally falling asleep at 3 or 4, probably 4 o'clock in the morning, and had to get up at 7 for an interview, and then during the fight I went through withdrawals, so it was just bad timing on everything.
Oh my God!
So I've done my very last fight. I did it with withdrawals also. But I was about 16 hours into it, so like it was hell. I just thought I had the flu. I didn't know because I'd never taken drugs. I didn't know, but I'd been on a pain management thing with my doctor, and I quit taking them because I get nauseous if I exercise on any kind of pain pills. So I stopped taking them the night before, and by probably the late afternoon before, by that night at midnight, I was getting really, really sick. By the next day, I could barely even walk. I was so sick. Like it's no joke, man. The withdrawals are no joke. It's worse than any flu you've ever had, worse than it's not even close, you know? And so I went into the fight like that, like ready to shit my pants, basically throwing up right before I went out, everything. And I just kept thinking, man, I've never been this sick in my life. And then once it was over, of course, I took my pain pills. And all of a sudden, I feel better 20 minutes later. And I was like, oh.
Right.
And one of my idiot cornermen was like, yeah, man, I used to be hooked on oxys. I figured you were going through withdrawals, but I didn't want to mess with your head by saying that because I knew you didn't know. And I was like, okay, well, I could have taken like a quarter of one or something, half one just to get through the fight, you know? But not be sick. But yeah, he goes, yeah, I used to be an addict real bad. I figured that's what was happening. I knew you didn't know, so I didn't want to mess with your head. I was like, cool, dude. Thanks.
Oh, God.
So, you know, you need somebody in your corner who's in your corner, not somebody who's fucking fighting against you, you know, and trying to get you off the fucking pills, you know, the night before the fight is not.
Yeah, what a time for an intervention, like right before.
Yeah.
So then also, I felt bad for was Derek Brunson. That was a good fight because he was so close to winning against Jared Cannonier. And, man, Derek Brunson is one of those things where if he sticks to the game plan, which is wrestling, he'll win. But he was hurting him on the feet. So I could see why he was – and he just went in for it and just, man, he got hit. He didn't know where he was. I mean, that was scary. When a guy turns the other way, the other direction during a fight, and his hands are low, oh, man, that was hard to watch. That was hard to watch. And then Alex Hernandez got beat by Moicano. That was a good fight. Bobby Green. I don't know what – Bobby Green was a guy that everyone at the gym was like, Bobby Green. And he was losing, and you're like, maybe he's a guy that just kills it in the gym and doesn't. But now he's finally coming to his own, and good for Bobby Green. Andre Arlovsky, he's becoming a gatekeeper, but a damn good one at that.
Yeah, has he won like 5 in a row or 4 or 5 or something crazy? Or?
Yeah, they put him up against these guys that they're trying to build, and he just beats them. And then he said his corner was mad at him for like not fighting enough because he was kind of being lazy and coasting, which that's what he said. And Kyler Phillips looked great in his fight. And then Casey O'Neill beat Roxanne Modafferi, which they gave a split decision. I don't know how you gave Roxy winning that fight. I mean, she got, beat up pretty much. But at one point they said there was like the corner might want to stop this. William Knight came in 12 pounds over against Maxime Grishin. I mean, why even go on the scale?
Yeah. I always think it's funny they make them weigh in still like, hey, maybe he'll make it. He still has to look there like maybe he came off. Dude, I still have the stress for making weight in the UFC. I still 2 or 3 times a month have nightmares that I'm not going to make weight. Literally, we'll be tossing and turning all night that I'm 15 pounds over. And I'm like, dude, it can't be done. I only have an hour, and then I'm going to be at like, I constantly have that dream. Like that I'm not going to make weight. It's kind of wonder if I got PTSD from the stress of making weight or something, because to have dreams about it years later is really weird, but it happens all the time.
You think 12 pounds, like he was just like he got to 7 and said, fuck it, went back up? Or 12?
That, or he was 30 over when he got there, or 20 over when he got there, and 12 was the closest he could get, and just was like, some guys overestimate the amount of weight they can cut also. You know what I mean? They think, I can, as they don't diet right, they don't, do enough cardio, and as it gets closer and closer, you're like, man, it's, I'm still 30 over, and I got 10 days, like just start thinking, I can do 20 in a day, I can do that, and then start going like that, so. And
then this guy Blood Diamond, who they were hyping, he was 3-0. You can't let a guy who's 3-0 in the UFC. It's just not enough fights. Unless he's fighting another guy who's 3-0. It's just what's gonna. And he got exposed. I mean, maybe he'll come
Especially
back.
not if he's been in the Blood Diamonds industry for his time before the fight. It's like a rough way to make a living.
3-0. Like, what are we? I mean, there's plenty of guys out there who are like. I think that was like a favor to somebody. The guy's allegedly really good at kickboxing. Like he's amazing. But 3-0, it's just not enough. I mean, 3-0. That's crazy.
Unless you're fighting CM Punk.
Yeah, unless it's CM Punk versus the guy who's also 1-0. But then you have a problem there, because then if the guy who wins, now he's in the UFC at 2-0 or 2-1, and that's kind of what happened with that what's it called again? That dude that beat him. He won. He beat Sage Northcutt. He beat a couple other guys, but then all of a sudden it was like he lost to Diego Sanchez.
I thought CM Punk won that fight. That surprised me, that decision.
Which one, against Mike Jackson?
Either one. I was just trying to say, because there was never any close point in the fight. I don't know.
Dude, the first one, CM Punk came out and threw a fucking haymaker, and Mickey Gall just ducked it, took him down, and then they reenacted it on WWE the next night. They had the wrestlers do the same thing, just to really fucking piss him off, which I thought was pretty damn funny. All right, so this week, are you excited for this week? Don, are we going to watch the fights this week or what?
No. I don't have the stomach for it anymore, man.
You're done? Totally? Don Frye, you're done with fighting?
Yes. Hey, and I don't know how anybody gave her that fight. And then it turned out she was, 21-21? I mean, shit. They ought to re-sign me,
you talking about Roxanne Modafferi? You talking about Roxanne?
What?
You talking about Roxanne Modafferi?
Yeah. I mean, why don't they re-sign, old geezers like me and Severn to fight if they're letting people fight 21-21, or like you said, 3-0? I mean, there's just no respect for the fans.
Well, Roxanne has actually beaten some decent girls, and it was her last fight, and she wanted to go out with a bang. But
she wanted to get to that magic 21 loss mark. Like, if I just get to 21 losses, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, bare knuckle boxing. What's his name was going to fight Melvin Gillard. Has lost 14 in a row, and bare knuckle boxing finally said no. Like not even them. Like the commission in Florida. Even like when Florida commission says no, that's when the things are fucked up. When they say no, that's crazy, because they'll let anything go out in Florida. What's up, people? Football might be over for the season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Now head over to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code CLNS50 to get started. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage It's the best in the business, okay? From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. I'm surprised you don't live there, Don.
Yeah, I mean, you're always on the main card telling jokes over there in Florida. Yesterday.
100%. Meanwhile, I got a show tonight. I do this show at this like weed, like all these hot weed influencers, like the hottest chicks ever. I think they used to be strippers, and now they take bong hits and get paid on Instagram. They keep getting taken down on Instagram because their like nipples are showing, and like you could basically see their ass crack and what they eat for dinner. And their names are all like the Malibu Mermaid or like Senorita Smokes a Lot or something. But it's the same crowd every time. So I have to do new jokes to them every single time because they get mad if I do the same jokes, same 30 minutes, right? And it's like they're stoned as fuck. It's the only show you want to go up early because by the second comic, I've had comics that don't smoke pot throw up after they got off stage because you get so fucking blown out. And they're smoking with like flamethrowers. They're taking like this food there. It's madness. Fucking Frankie Edgar's coming tonight with some people from the UFC gym. And now I'm like nervous because I want him to see me do well, but I don't want to bomb in front of the, I don't know. I got to write new jokes. I've been writing.
I heard the same thing happened at one of Schaub's shows. Everybody was throwing up, but it didn't have anything to do with weed. So I don't know. I heard there was quite a bad reaction.
I heard that too. Now, did you hear that there was a free Joe Rogan chant during the last event?
No, that's awesome. No.
But like Joe Rogan didn't, like they didn't fire him. They didn't. He said to him, "I'm going to sit this one out," which is
why?
Because of what happened with the Spotify and people getting mad at him.
Fuck Spotify. You know what? Let him go. Let him do his own thing. If you're not going to support the guy.
No, not him. Because it came out, those videos of him saying the N-word, and then a couple, the Planet of like the apes thing he said. And
no, I supported him.
He was on hallucinogenics. What the fuck? You tell me there's not any black guys who walk out there and see a bunch of white people and start yelling cracker, you know, and then they see a bunch of gingers and they don't look like orangutans? Come on.
I'm not really sure I'm following the logic totally here, but I think the hallucinogenic argument probably isn't the best argument. But he was quoting the N-word according to him, and they just like spliced it up so it looked like he was saying it, but he was saying
right.
And this comedian said the N-word, and then he would say it. But look, I mean, you know, he apologized. People make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Joe Rogan's done a lot more good than bad. It's probably like 99.99999. Keep going. And then, you know, he's done a lot of good for a lot of people and inspired a lot of people. And so it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You can't just cancel people. But you know what would have been crazy though, Sean, Don, there was a fighter, Cannonier, his nickname is the Killer Gorilla, right? Now, could you imagine if he would have been like, here comes, imagine if Rogan would have said that and like people wouldn't known that the guy, that was his nickname. Oh, like he would have been, I mean, it would have been, the internet would have fucking, like, it would have been crazy.
Maybe it's because Derek Lewis is on too. You don't want to be on film saying the Black Beast, like the Black Beast and the Killer Gorilla. And like,
like the Black Beast. Could you imagine that? I mean, that would have, imagine the whole card was like there's a girl who's like my friend Andy, she's on the UFC, she's Asian, she goes by the Crasian. The Crasian. Can you imagine the whole card was like fucking things that could be taken, like holy fuck, dude. That would have been
that's because people who don't do anything with their fucking life have no sense of humor and think that they have to be offended, you know, to have some kind of purpose on this planet. You know, get out and do something with your fucking selves. And then you'll understand there's a whole world out there, and you know, people have a sense of humor because you hit yourself in the finger with a goddamn hammer, and you either cry about it or you laugh about it. You know, get back to work.
I agree with that, and I think, dude, it's getting worse now with the metaverse. Everything is like, I don't want to know about the metaverse. I don't want to do virtual reality. I want to actually have reality. My life isn't good enough now where I can go into another universe. I have to, let me focus on this universe first, and then before I go into the metaverse. Like, dude, that's the thing. Even when I coach wrestling, right? The kid had his hair long, and the ref was like, "Oh, he can't wrestle unless he cuts his hair." And I was like, "Ref, do you know how fucking hard it is?" I didn't say fucking, but to get a kid to leave his house to go to wrestling practice, he's here, and now you're gonna make him cut his hair because the rule book. I don't care about your rule book, okay? I care about like what's going on right now. To get kids to do anything right now is a challenge. Let's not make it hard for people. But anyway, this week we have Jamahal Hill, who's 9-1, against Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is the guy that everyone thought was just gonna run through. Remember, he was like breakdancing, and he won one fight, and then he did like the worm afterwards, and then he injured himself doing the worm.
Yeah, like, dislocated his own shoulder.
Yeah.
Celebrating.
So he's the main event against Jamahal Hill, who's 9-1. His nickname is Sweet Dreams because he puts you to sleep. So that's his. He has one loss to Paul Craig, whose nickname is the Bear Jew. He should have been on that card too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. I thought the one guy's nickname was Jamaha. Like I'm confused. Like I didn't know it was actually his name.
No, his name is Jamahal Hill. Or I think I'm saying it right. He's taking on Johnny Walker, who also has a condom brand, by the way. That's like the main. Kyle Dacus is on the card against Jamie Pickett. Jim Miller, who's 33-16, against Nicholas Mata.
Trying to get to that magic 21. Still working on it.
Then a guy, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who's 11-4, who had like 2 years off because I don't know if I got the whole story straight, but I think two girls.
You're in Guantanamo. He's in Guantanamo for a couple years, yeah. So.
Dude, I've been to Guantanamo. Have you ever been to Guantanamo, Don?
No.
Dude, I'd like to go, though. Dude, I did comedy in Guantanamo Bay. It was like me and like 5 comedians. We're going over there, and the Victoria's Secret models are there. It's like Marissa Miller, Adriana Lima, and Selena Eubanks, like the hottest ones. But no one knew who they were because their calendar hadn't come out, right? So I started hitting on them. We took the ferry over there because I'm like, fuck it, if I strike out, I'm getting struck out by a Victoria's Secret model, right? So we go over there, and there's a huge line. People take pictures with Marissa. I'm like, can I get a picture with you? She goes, sure. I go, Marissa, can you take a picture? She goes, sure. And I give my phone to my other friend, Frank. I give my phone to her, and she takes a picture of me and Frank. Just to like, everyone's laughing, like she took the picture. And so then like my buddy Nima Williams, who he does the same thing to Salida. And then he goes, after I take the picture, I'm going to fuck it later. So then she gets all mad and she's like, how dare you? And then they start fighting with each other. And then we got banned from talking to the supermodels, right? So that kind of sucked. But our flight was late to get off the island. So they took us to like where the prisoners were. And dude, they had like a soccer field and they had a flat screen TV. And it was right after all those like torture videos came out. So they were saying how they're on medication. They get 3 meals a day because they were trying to like say how great they had it. Dude, we look into this jail cell. It's like a 4x5. Some guy has a beard and he's yelling, help, 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 and just banging on the dude. And then they all had lawyers. They had lawyers representing them. It was the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, Guantanamo.
You're telling me, help, I can't breathe.
Dude, it was crazy. So anyway, Abdul Razak Hassan, I think he was charged by raping 2 girls, but I guess it was dismissed, and he's saying that they made it up. I don't know what happened, that it was a consensual threesome, and so he's back. He's fighting. He's fighting Joaquin Buckley. He's the guy caught his foot. Remember he did that crazy fucking kick? So that fight should be fireworks because those guys have major. And then Jessie Jess is fighting. She's the hottie. You know Jessie Jess? You know her, Sean?
No idea. Never even heard of her.
She's the girl that Ween Dog thought he had a shot with. So Ween Dog showed up at her gym, but she didn't let him in. So yeah, that was he's fighting. And then Chaz Skelly, he's a great guy. Chaz is a funny guy. He wants to be a comedian. He's fighting Mark Striegel. He was the guy that after he won his last fight, he started singing. He sang that song about his dick by what's the song?
I'm missing something on these UFCs. I'll tell you what.
The Jack Black has a song about his dick. like I don't know. He like sang it at the interview. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right. So he's a guy that like he walked out to the octagon and the other guy didn't show up. Like he got like ghosted. Like something happened. And the other guy like got hurt, but they didn't tell him until after he already walked out. And then they asked him all these questions and he just started singing about his penis. Hold on. Sing. So here, I'll see if you guys can have it. Yeah. So this is what happened. So they asked him a question and he,
always have to fuck her hard. In fact, sometimes that's not right to do. Sometimes you got to make some love and fucking give her some smooches too. Sometimes you got to squeeze.
Why the fuck do they let shit like that go on? Why don't they cut the microphone?
I wanna fuck you softly.
Why do they let that go on? God damn.
I wanna hump you.
So this is about another 30 seconds.
I can't believe when did that happen? I can't believe I never even heard of that. Like, now I'm going to see it everywhere. Like when you told me who the Island Boys were, I'd never seen them, and then they're everywhere.
Meanwhile, somebody got arrested at their house. Somebody did a drive-by and shot a 3-year-old or something and was like hanging out at those guys' houses at the Island Boys. Yeah, it's like terrible.
I'm sure it's going to end up well for them. Like they're headed straight toward a peaceful ending.
Did you see that video, by the way, of those two guys? It's a grandfather and grandson that look like the Island Boys, and they're fighting a giant woman in Russia. Did you see it?
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
Hold on, let's see if I can find it. I'm not really sure. Okay, right here. Hold on a second. Okay, people said it looked like Ben Askren. And she beats them both up.
He looks like the girl from Cobra Kai.
Oh, the black girl?
Yeah.
Like the light-skinned girl?
I mean, I don't see color, but I assume she's black. So.
Yeah, so that's going on right here. I'm not really sure. And Bellator this week has a good card too. Neiman Gracie. He's his record is 11-2. He lost to Jason Jackson. I think it was a pretty close fight. He lost to Rory McDonald. He got beat up by Rory. He beat Ed Ruth. He beat John Fitch. He beat Mark Lemminger. He's fighting Logan Storley, who is 12-1. I thought he beat Amasov, but it was a split decision. But this dude's a monster. He's a four-time All-American, just a beast of a guy. That's on Showtime on Saturday night. And then Georgi Karakanyan is fighting Adam Piccolotti. And then on the undercard, Brennan Ward, who I haven't seen in a long time, is fighting. And Aviv Ghazali, this guy is 6-0. He's from Israel. And all his fights have been under – his last fight was 1:17. Before that, it was 3:22, 56 seconds, 11 seconds. All first round, either by heel hook, anaconda, Kimura, or heel hook. The guy's father, they call him the Israeli Batman because he's like a 50-year-old fighter.
Call him what? I didn't hear that.
They call him the Israeli Batman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
And then
is he the kosher? Is he kosher Batman?
Yeah, the kosher Batman. And then Justine Kish. She's the girl that she's a really nice girl. She's a pretty girl, but she shit herself in the octagon. What's her name? Put her naked choke in her, Felice Herrig, and she shit on the canvas. Do you remember that, Sean?
Sounds a little familiar, but I didn't Google it or anything.
And then so she's fighting Deanna Bennett, who's a really good fighter, coming off a huge win, a huge upset win. She's kind of a hottie, actually. She beat Alejandra Lara, lost to Liz Carmouche, but then tore her ACL. Let me see if I can find the Justine Kish, because it was also an off-colored shit. It was kind of like light. It was not the kind of shit that it looked like it was unhealthy to be honest. So, but then
I heard a rumor. What's the guy's name that his dad's the Jewish Batman?
But then hold on. But then afterwards, she wrote "Shit Happens." So yeah, look. See, if you guys look at right here, you can see that.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for that.
My phone's showing anything.
I don't know what Don said, but what were you saying about Jewish Batman?
No, who's the fighter that his dad's the Jewish Batman?
Let me see if I can find
Like his name?
his name is Aviv Gozali.
Oh, yeah, I do know who that guy is. First time I saw him fight, he gave me the Hebrew jeebies. I just wanted to say that.
But bare knuckle fighting this week. Also, are you guys on top of this? What's going on in bare knuckle boxing this week?
Not a clue.
No.
All right, this Saturday, people, it is Knuckle Mania 2. Okay? And
They'll never live up to Knuckle Mania 1, I'll tell you that.
it's Mike Perry versus Julian Lane. Julian Lane is the guy that kept remember Don, he was crying in the house because they wouldn't let him fight. He kept saying, let me bang, bro. Let me bang, bro. He was crying because he wanted to bang. He's fighting Mike Perry. And then also Britton Hart, who's a monster. She's the one married to Joey Beltran now. She's fighting Christine Pereira, who's also like a killer. Chad Mendez is fighting a guy his name is Fame, Famez. I don't think he has a last name. He just goes by Fame. Don, what are you doing?
My bulldog's attacking me.
I thought he was gargling sand again.
And then Louis Palomino is fighting Martin Brown. He had some wars against Gaethje back in the WSOF.
They call him Baboon, so maybe he can get on the UFC too and get like Rogan on there talking about him as well would be good.
Howard Davis is taking on somebody, and then I think that's his dad is the boxer Howard Davis, the Olympian. But yeah, that's all going down this week in bare knuckle boxing. Knuckle Mania. It's only $5 to watch this.
And Chad Mendez says he's getting paid more than Ngannou, who got paid to fight for the title. So I don't know whose money they're burning, but good Lord, man.
Yeah, knuckle. Wow, this girl right here is pretty hot. Her name is Jade Mason Wong. You can't see her, but she's very attractive. She's fighting. Are you a fan?
They used to call me that. It was Sean Massive Wong. That was my fight nickname for a while.
So yeah, bare knuckle boxing.
Well, better than Stubby.
MMA. All right, then let's get some more MMA news because I got to see you guys. So Conor McGregor claims he has the best ground and pound in the entire sport of MMA.
Oh fuck.
He knows how to troll us, I'll tell you that.
Is that receiving by ground and pound or dishing?
Yeah, he has the best ground and pound from the bottom, I guess.
Kevin Holland has been flying in people that troll him and sparring with him and posting the videos.
Good.
It's just
Good.
People for they've not been going well. Yeah.
I've got a rapper that's going to come beat me up in Indianapolis at some point soon. He got mad at something I said on Instagram. He started sending me messages on there, and I told him, okay, well, just come. You can just fight. And it went on and on for hours. I was in tears. It was really funny, but he's still going to come beat me up. He says I won't see it coming, so I'm just going to be walking down the street, and he's going to hit me, I guess, or something.
Lyoto Machida is fighting Fabian Edwards and Bellator. How old is Machida? Jeez. That's crazy. And and then what else do we got? Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lozon. Is it moved to UFC 274? That's a good fight, but I don't know. I mean, I don't mind that fight because it's two legends. I want them to get paid, and they're kind of at the same level, I think, at this point. But hopefully the winner does not go on to fight some young upcoming, because that just
yeah. Oh well.
Lorenzo Hood got a 2-year suspension for a positive drug test, and he lost in 1 round. That's got to be the worst.
You want to hear something great about Lorenzo Hood? He was on the same event. He fought for me twice on the event I put on with the pillow fighting.
Yeah.
Turns out his name's not even Lorenzo Hood. He's a complete liar. He's using someone else's identity. He's 10 years older than he says he is. Like, his whole story is a lie. Like, everything about him is a lie. And, like, he got to be friends with, what's his name, Rashad Evans, and went down and moved in his house and was driving his car for a while and stuff. And then Rashad found out he was lying about everything. Like, he was having people over there telling him it was his house. Like, he's like a pathological liar. It's the craziest. But he's not actually – that's not actually his real name. There's some – Bellator, when they signed him, cut him because he faked an ACL injury right before the fight started. He, like, chickened out. Like, Lear in the locker room said he hurt his knee warming up. But they had found out he's not even who he says he is. That's a weird – he's got something crazy going on there.
We tested positive for methanolone. Which
that's just D.
That's just what? Don, what did he say?
I don't know. I didn't hear him either.
He said that's just D. D. Okay.
Like Deca or D-ball or what?
Something.
Maybe D-ball.
So WWE legend Booker T calls Stylebender the Muhammad Ali of the MMA world. I gotta disagree with that one.
Yeah. Booker T smoking a little bit too much ganja.
I mean, Muhammad Ali, just was the most dominant champ.
Muhammad Ali has some personality. You know, I don't see any personality on Stylebender. You know, and I mean, it's so hard to root for that guy. He's such a fucking arrogant asshole. You know, I mean, it's just pathetic. You know, I mean, sure, he's a good fighter, but nobody likes him. You know, criminy.
What were you saying, Sean? It's just D.
What is?
Methanolone or something. What is it?
Oh, just D-ball is what that is for the. I don't know. The bros in the gym know what that is. What D-ball is. So yeah, that's a fancy name for it. Mike
Swick got diagnosed with cancer. I really hope he's okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Did not specify what kind of cancer he's dealing with. So. I mean, it could just be Josh Koster. So, yeah, that could be the cancer. I'm just kidding. I hope he's okay. So Masvidal and Covington were both on Fox News. Did you watch that?
No.
Yeah, they were on Jesse Waters' show, and Jesse Waters was instigating. He said that he called you a journeyman, and he was laughing, and so they were both on. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So, hello, Sean, you back? All right, you guys. This is a tough one. All right, so I'm going to bring up the Masvidal Jesse Waters interview. Sean's not even here anymore. Sean, come back. All right, so Jesse Waters, Masvidal. So who do you want to win, by the way, Colby or Masvidal?
Probably Masvidal. I like Masvidal.
More than Colby?
More than Colby? Yeah. Because at least he's likable. Shit, and he's a Trump fan too. So shit. So,
yeah.
He's solid.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, I think they're both likable. I think Colby's gonna win. I think that them training together, I don't know who that helps, to be honest, because I just think that Colby's gotten a lot better than Masvidal has. I think Masvidal kind of peaked out a couple years ago. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And Colby's still Colby. So this was the Fox News interview. So I can't believe that they have MMA fighters now going on Fox News. I mean, that's the funniest shit.
Yeah.
Sean, did you watch that? Sean?
Yeah.
Did you watch Masvidal and Colby on Fox News?
No, I did see a clip of it. I saw it from a few days ago, but I didn't see it recently.
UFC 272, you're facing off against Colby Covington, who came on primetime last week. Here is what he said about you. Roll it.
Yeah, March 5th, it's a career-ending fight for Jorge Masvidal. He's talked a big game, Jesse, to the media, and just like Joe Biden, they talk a big game, but they don't walk a big game. And March March 5th on pay-per-view, I'm going to expose journeyman Jorge Masvidal in front of the world.
Oh, he called you a journeyman. What's your response, Jorge?
I love how he piled on. He called you a journeyman.
I mean, does Jesse Waters know who the fuck he's talking to? Like, Masvidal is not the kind of guy. Like, come on, dude. That's not the kind of guy you want to casually fuck around with. Like, he's not really a joker.
I think maybe he doesn't realize what an insult that is, like, or something. I don't know. That's a.
I think he doesn't, probably never watched the MMA fight. Doesn't realize that Masvidal is not like this comedy guy. Like that. That dude's legit. Like legit.
What's funny is they're both big time Trump supporters, but yet they're arguing with each other over politics. It makes no sense.
Who do you think wins, Sean?
Yeah, I got to think Colby beats him with better wrestling, man. I mean, Masvidal always has, the chance for a knockout, but from what I guess I'm the same as everybody else. From what I've seen online of them train together, it probably wouldn't be close, So
that means Masvidal is going to win by first round knockout, guys. You heard it here first.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Also on the card, we have Austin Vanderford, who and actually next week in Bellator Ireland, is taking on Mousasi. Austin is Paige Van Zandt's husband. They're naked all the time. They have a sex tape together. They party hard. They have a great time. Mousasi is fucking no joke. Vanderford's undefeated, great wrestler, but Mousasi is just a killer. I hope Austin wins, but who do we like in this one, Sean?
Same deal, man. I never liked Austin until we had him on the show, and then he ended up being super likable. So I hope he wins, but Mousasi, that's a tough draw for anybody, man.
Now, have you seen this thing coming up with the Iranian Hulk is fighting?
Something about it, yeah.
Is this guy really going to fight? Supposedly, it's been like a year now or 2 years, and he says he's going to fight, but he never actually does. All right, UFC 202, Beneil Dariush, Fight Night 202 against Islam Makhachev. How do you say it?
Makhachev.
Makhachev, yeah. 21-1 against Beneil Dariush. Who wins this one?
I always go with the guy that sounds like he's from Dagestan, man. Like if it's any one of them dudes, they can fight.
I hope that Beneil wins. He's the nicest human being in the world. The guy every time goes and builds churches in like third world countries. You won't find a nicer human being than him.
If he would have just got addicted to heroin early on in his life, he would have a chance of the title. But since building churches instead, he's got no shot.
Also, Jinyu Frye, who is a rocket scientist, she's as well as a fighter. She's like something like that. She's fighting Hannah Goldie, who's just fucking the most stacked girl I've ever seen in my life. It's just one muscle.
Who's not a rocket scientist, I've heard.
A rocket scientist. And Terrence McKinney's on this card. He's the guy that took too much mushrooms and acid and LSD, and the cops came to his house and tased him 4 times. He was pronounced dead like 3 times, but like still came back to life. Went to jail. And now he's just been killing everyone in the UFC.
Right.
He's won his last 4 fights.
Well, once you die 3 times, I think all fear is gone. Like you have nothing else to worry about. Ironically, the guy named Terrence McKenna is the one that came up with DMT. So I thought you were working for a DMT joke. But
Don, did you ever get tased?
No, never did. Never did. How about you?
No, I've never been arrested. Have you ever been arrested, Sean?
Almost like 15 times, but never officially.
Don, you?
Yeah, I got arrested a few times. Spent some time in the jail overnight because that whore I was married to, pulled bullshit with the cops.
Oh man, nobody fuck with you in jail, right?
No, actually, it's a pretty polite area. Yeah.
All right. Rafael.
The only problem he had was with the guy that he thought the Don arrested because he thought it was Magnum PI, but turns out it wasn't. So the guy wasn't holding a grudge.
Also on the Colby card, Fizayev, who is 11-1, who had a spinning wheel kick against Brad Riddell, beat Bobby Green, knocked out Renato Moicano. His last loss was against Magomed Mustafaz by a spinning back kick in 2019. He is fighting Rafael Dos Anjos, who's 30-13. As much as I like Dos Anjos, I think Fazaya's got this. I think this is like they're going to make him look good.
I think win or lose, there'll be some spinning involved, it sounds like.
And then Bryce Mitchell, who is he's the guy that wanted the camo. He's from like Alabama or Mississippi, super, from like the sticks. He's 14-0, won the Ultimate Fighter. He recently called out Trevor Noah. He said he wants to fight Trevor Noah from The Daily Show.
Right.
Because Trevor Noah made fun of truckers. So he said he will the whole truckers that are kind of the whole truck thing. All the people protesting. Said he wants to fight Trevor Noah for charity, and have his hands behind his back and still kick his ass. Do you think that he would beat him with his hands behind his back, Sean?
Yes, but I also don't think Trevor Noah wants to fight a UFC fighter. I just have a feeling he's not going to be signing. Would it be awesome if he did? Trevor Noah's like the baddest ass dude ever. Like came out there and just put it on him. Like it'd be awesome.
Don, who do you think wins? Bryce Mitchell with no hands versus Trevor Noah.
Bryce Mitchell. Trevor Noah's a fucking ass clown. Just a fucking ass. And he's a coward on top of that,
Well, he's fighting.
You know what I'm not a big fan of, man, is guys that aren't from the United States trashing the United States. Like he's not even from here, and he's talking shit about it. Like here, like, dude, go back.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah, you like the fucking money, The money's good, but you can't. You want to talk shit about it, so have some integrity and get the hell out of here.
So he's fighting Barboza on that card. Greg Hardy's on that card. He's fighting Sergey Spivak. Also, Jalen Turner, whose nickname is the Tarantula because he has like 600 tarantulas. This big, tall, black dude loves tarantulas. That's like his thing. He was scared of them, so his mom bought him one to make sure he wasn't scared. Now he's like the biggest fan of tarantulas. He's fighting Jamie Malarkey.
Isn't that what happened to Peter Parker? Wasn't that the backstory of how Spider-Man came about or not? I can't remember. Was it something like that? Like he got bit by a spider and then...
Yeah, kind of. Also,
got bit by a radioactive spider, right?
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Also, Jessica I is on the card, who's super hot. Her OnlyFans is off the chain right now. She's fighting Manon Fiorot, the girl from France who's just been killing everybody. You know what I'm talking about? She's just been knocking people out left and right. So, yeah, I hope Jessica pulls it off, but that's going to be hard. And then Brian Kelleher, who's a really good rapper. He's fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, who's 13-0. Man, these guys are taking over.
I'll tell you what, when you're matching up with one of those Dagestani guys or Nurmagomedov, the one thing you want to make sure you have is like tight bars. Like you want to make sure you can like freestyle if need be. So.
And then this girl, who I never thought was really that. I never looked at her like that, but she posted a picture recently. The girl from Jessica Andrade. You know Jessica Andrade?
Do I know the name? Yeah, the fighter. Yeah.
Yeah. She's I guess she has an OnlyFans now. And
wait, isn't Jessica Andrade the girl that slammed Rose on her head?
Yeah. So, but like, look at her OnlyFans. Like, she looks kind of good. I mean, I never looked at her like that. But...
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean,
oh well.
So and then people are very mad about this. Every comment is like, "This is Dana's fault." Dana, like this is Dana's fault. She hasn't that she's not being paid enough. So yeah. Anyway, well,
it's Dana's fault they're being subjected to her OnlyFans. That's what you're saying. Like, thanks a lot, Dana. Look what you've done to us.
So, well, that's our podcast today. I think we covered a lot. Don, anything you want to say?
No, I don't want to say a damn thing to you.
Don, you're one of my favorite people in the world, man. You are the most consistent human being ever, and I hope you find happiness. I feel like you have. I feel like you found a spot where you just don't give a fuck anymore, and that's you're one of the few, man. You're one of the few. And Sean, you're the best. Hope you guys have a great week.
I do have some news for you real quick. Brendan Schaub's second comedy special is coming out next month.
Yes.
And there was a massive bidding war, according to him, between Netflix, Showtime, everybody. But he just decided he's going to release it on his own YouTube because, hey, he's betting on himself.
On
so
YouTube?
there was he's going to just put it on YouTube himself because despite the massive bidding war from all the networks, he decided he's just going to bet on himself and release it on YouTube.
Was he bidding to not buy it? Like
yeah,
how can you $10 million to not have this?
I can't wait to see it. I'm not kidding. I like chomping at the bit to see it. I can't wait. It's amazing.
They might actually bring back the dislike button just for that special.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys are the best. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.